Hello and welcome to episode 45 of our Timberborn Update 5 Waterbeaver playthrough in cycle 53, day 4. Last time I killed the lotuses once again. We're going to get that refilled. We also overfill-proofed it with this primitive dam, which I'm sure will cause zero problems whatsoever for any reason for the remainder of time. Massive sarcasm quotes. And we continued expanding some stuff over here. We still have lots to do. And I do mean a lot to do. But everything has to get taken in increments, like we always say. So let's jump right into it. Got a lot of good feedback last episode. Absolutely cannot get all of it accomplished in one episode, and some of it I probably am never going to be able to get done just because that's how that works. But I do always appreciate the good advice that you guys give. We have this area here, which is getting pretty close to being fully surrounded with terrain blocks. In fact, this one's just about to be complete. And once this one's done, and this one's done, and this one's done, then I can unpause this one, which actually I probably should go ahead and unpause, just so we're ready to go. Because what that's going to do is that's going to allow this to eventually drain out. It would be really nice if they had this finished during a drought, because, well, then the rest of that nasty water could drain out of here and we wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. But that's one of those things that is just going to be something we keep an eye on for a while. We do still need to put in dynamite around basically the entirety of the inside here, on the middle at least, so we can access the rest of the building entrances and everything. But that is a problem for later. Among other things, we have a lot of dynamiting that would be really nice to do behind our tree nursery here. Get this all cleared out, because then we can plant more giant sequoias, we could plant more grapes, more brambles and stuff, although brambles are currently looking pretty good. We just need to make sure that we don't let those get too low. We do, however, have a problem with pine resin. Now that we're actually using quite a bit of it, we end up in a situation where it is just not really working out super great. We do have some, but we need a whole lot more. So one of the things that we could possibly do is either get rid of some of these lemon trees and keep the ones we have up here, or we could plant some more pine trees somewhere else. I just kind of don't want to mess with that. We do have this harvester's office here that is taking our lemons and our berries and all sorts of fun stuff. But the tapper shack is the one working on the pine trees. And it does have a little bit of space over here that it can work with, but the problem with this land is it's not irrigated continuously. So we would have to end up working on some other stuff to make that happen. But for right now, we're not out of pine resin, but if we have things set up correctly, we probably would be. Would, get it? Because it's pine resin. Anyway, we have these blueberry bushes here that, honestly, we probably don't need to keep. We do have a lot of blueberries up here that aren't being harvested, and I said, you know what, why don't we have any blueberries get harvested? And the answer to that is because I got rid of the gatherer flag. So, in an effort to not be stupid anymore, we're going to put that back in. Probably could put another building in to handle that, but at the very least, we can let the gatherer flag do what the gatherer flag has to do, and we'll be okay. The water situation, I don't know if it's a huge problem, but it's definitely not ideal. The third large aquifer pump is going to help us out massively with that, and we do finally have all of the materials to make that possible. We just have to have it finished construction-wise. That shouldn't be taking too much longer because it's already at 76%. They just have to come finish it up. So I am hopeful that we'll be able to make this work. Again, each of these, every single hour in-game, give us, like, I don't know, math. Somewhere between 25 and 30 water droplets per hour, and we're going to have 3 of these. So every hour, in theory, somewhere around 85 to 90 water per hour coming in per day. That's a substantially larger number than that. You can do the math if you so choose. But I think we're okay. And this one here, this Clockwork Hydroponic Lotus Farm, needs to be making nenufars, not regular plucked lotus. So thank you for pointing that out in the comments. Be continuously working to improve this stuff. We're waiting on giant logs for this mega platform so we can continue stacking all of these farms. There's still plenty of work left to do. Although the situation with the sunflower oil, I'm pretty sure at this point we can consider it to be resolved. That hasn't solved other problems. And we are mightily behind in terms of the green peas and a couple other things. I'm thinking, though, that we're going to be able to stop planting so many sunflowers in various places. I just have to decide what's going to go up here, because we do have sunflower, cabbage, and lotus farms. We can, if we want to, just tear these out and rebuild them, but honestly, why would you do that? Just stack something somewhere else. I'm thinking, based on how these are set up, it's going to be in our best interest to put in another set of green peas farms. Well, not another set, we don't have one to begin with, but we're going to want to have a set of green pea farms. And then we'll have just about everything minus the rice that can be farmed with these represented. And that's going to be a big load off of our plate here. We just have to make sure that we're keeping up with everything else that we're using, or else we're going to start to have some additional different problems. But you can see the water's slowly going up. It looks like we've got our third here, prioritized by haulers. We need screw press axles. And while we do still currently have those, we're going to need to figure out a better solution. Now, the assembly line can't do it, but what can do it, if we go over here to the industrial buildings, is the multi-purpose outdoor workspace. The advantage to this, of course, is that it has versatility in recipes. It's not necessarily quicker. In fact, in many ways, it's not faster. It's even the same speed or slower, but the idea with this is it is highly centralized and it's very adaptable. So, I'm not going to build one just for the purpose of making the screw press axles, but actually I think in this scenario it's quicker flat out, but I don't think the per beaver effort is faster, is what I was getting at earlier. This, if all you care about is results and you just have beavers coming out your ears and you can just throw beavers at problems to solve problems, then great building. But currently we have 30 deficit for beavers. We need to make sure these guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So let's check out lag. Our log gnawing station's here. Which, why in the world is this making sawdust? Stop that immediately. Prioritize. So that should help a little bit, but we will need to get on some other stuff. We still have plenty of things to get to. I did unplant this because I figured I was going to turn some of this area into additional chestnuts, but I think the chestnut thing is not really going to be that much of a problem moving forward. Hopefully. Hopefully. We've got mushrooms going with our GMO growing labs, and they do have mushroom juice, so that's good. Well, 2 of them have a large supply. But we're going to need to keep making mushroom juice, which is another one of those things of, okay, well, just figure out how to manage your screw presses better. But now I don't remember what the building itself is called to look for it. Screw press. Wow, okay. Great job. Come on. Screw presses, I've got this one, the only one, making mushroom juice, and that is... Oh, it's this one right here. Well, that's okay, because it's close enough for that to be a thing. It is... Well, I guess we're just waiting on mushrooms, huh? And we have 940, so that shouldn't be a problem. I guess I should have a storage over here. Oh, I do! Okay, well that's going to be set to obtain then. Lotus flowers, rice. This is just such a mess over here. I don't really have any clue what actually is going on. Got tar on the ground. Sheesh. Big messy over here. Well, besides that, among the many other things that we are attempting to fix, improve, so on and so forth, is the medical beds. I was reminded that, yes, we do have almost 600 beavers, and I'm attempting to solve all of their problems with 3 medical beds. That's not really fair. Nor is it going to be even possible to get anything done thinking like that. So we are going to have to put in some others somewhere else, and I'm not really sure what the best course of action is going to be outside of just, you know, cramming stuff in wherever it'll fit. So I would love to put something here, but there's a tree in the way. Of course, it's not going to let me get away with that. So, you know, it is what it is. And this is a pathway that I'm trying to keep open so we can actually utilize all of this stuff. But I do have a little bit of space here that I can, if I can get the angle right, I can build these platforms here. And then that's going to give me space for 6 of these. So if we do 2 for mild disease, 2 for injuries, and 2 for minor burns. You know, it's better than nothing, right? Better than nothing. But I can hear you say, this is where you're going to put entrances for the large storages. And you're exactly right, because I apparently didn't remember that's what I was doing with this space. So let's leave these open. What's this for? Mild diseases. How many diseases do we have? 4 minor burns. And injuries. Well, I have 1, 1, and 1, and I'm putting in more stuff over here. I guess it's fine. Probably should go ahead and just build these warehouses here before I forget that I need to put the warehouses here. Entrance. Keep building this tower up. Now, the way this is currently set up, chestnuts are here. There's not really that much of a reason for chestnuts to be there. We got rice balls. We got nenifars. That's not really a food. But I do have another... Yeah, I've got another set of storage for those guys. These need to be used to store food that the beavers are going to actually eat. But part of the problem is the foods that are processed don't go in storages like this. They go in the hand of soup, which I obviously cannot put here. So instead, we're going to need to think of other things that will go in this spot and not be completely dumb. But honestly, we don't really have very much else unique item-wise that would have to go here. So it's probably going to end up just being additional storage capacity for the regular stuff like pumpkins. Probably need a whole bunch of pumpkin storage. We have storage for the pumpkin chips that we can't use because we don't have enough everything else. But it doesn't hurt to have any sort of extra capacity whenever you can do it. The problem then becomes, okay, well, what do I put and where? So I guess berries is the easy one there, because we are going to try to, you know, do something with the berries. It just becomes very hard to grow a whole bunch of berries when you need your land to do other things. Now, if we automate farming for a lot of this stuff, then yes, I could put more berries up. Or multi-purpose outdoor workspace will grow berries, as long as you have sawdust. Every hour you get 4, which is actually really good. That's incredibly good. The reason I hadn't built this was because we were running around like chickens with our heads cut off trying to figure out how to, you know, solve other problems. But if I can find a good place to pop one of these guys, then we're going to be in a business. It just becomes an issue of, well, what can you put and where? Now, this is solid, but it's not a levee. So I think I can just get away with some really stupid nonsense here. I wonder I wonder, is this going to punish me? Because I've got platforms here I can just pretty easily replace. I have these things. I'm going to keep them. Going to keep them as double platforms because we do need to have access to pathing underneath. But I love this thing being in the middle of the... Yeah! Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go. I just have to be able to, you know, get into the top of this thing. So if I were to put this here, I obviously can't build anything on top of it. But this does make decent use of the space here. Just need to have the ability to get up there. Which, the way this is currently set up, probably could use a whole lot of extra work, changes, etc., so on and so forth. Let's just do berries. Get this thing figured out. I think what's going to happen here is that path is going to go away, and I'll just use ladders. That'll help solve a lot of problems, and we can redo the rest of this at some point. But this will be very, very good to have available for us, as long as it can make berries. So that's one of those things we're going to keep on working on. Put this thing in turbo mode, finally, almost 20 minutes into the video. Well, I guess it's only 16 minutes into the actual gameplay, because this takes forever to load. How far into everything we are. But if we can get the berry situation taken care of, then that's going to help a lot of other stuff. Water continues to climb slowly, but it does continue to climb, and that's good. Power was a problem, and now is technically enough, but we're going to need to expand this as we continue going about our business. We need to really put in some effort on getting this whole thing knocked down, which is not really going to be a super easy thing, but we need to make sure it happens anyway. And we've determined that the double, triple, quadruple, whatever dynamite is just a waste of resources. It only has a time advantage because you don't have to go in there more than once. But I'm going to just start the process of blasting down as much of this as I possibly can. And then we're going to have to at some point get these trees off of here. But we have 44 dynamite. We can actually get a pretty decent amount of this blown up without having to go up the stairs. And that should be a good way to start this out. We just have to be careful about how we go about doing the rest of this. The goal is to increase the amount of space available for the giant sequoias, primarily. Of course, we'll end up probably just replanting that whole thing, but in bits and pieces. Just let them do what they got to do. How are we looking on getting these filled in? 640. That's at 577. This one, they have not started yet, which is fine. Everything is very slowly progressing, but it is progressing. Pine resin actually is up to 92, which again is not quite as much as we really want, but I think it's going to be fine. So in the spirit of, you know, actually being able to do stuff, I'm going to start getting rid of these berry bushes here. It's not going to matter long term because we have the ability to go in and build berries in the multi-purpose outdoor workspace, which is up and running, looks like. Just needs sawdust and water, which hopefully are not going to be in short supply. Sawdust is going to be easier to deal with once we have enough giant sequoias growing to just run this continuously, because it does generate quite a bit. Otherwise, we just need to get something else figured out. Screw press axles, we still need plenty more of those. It's just a process. 2 days, 22 hours ties up 5 beavers versus 1 day, 20 hours ties up 8. I think it's probably more important to have the speed rather than efficient beaver usage. But as it stands now, we're not really in a position to be too choosy. We just need more beaver housing. So that was part of the reason why we were building this stuff, because now I can come in and put in a couple of things here. These are haulers, so these are going to be builders. The new ones I put on these pit and ladder lodges. Right there, and then another one here. And then on top, of course. So this will give us 4 new ones for 6 inhabitants each, and that will employ 12 builders. And then, of course, in the middle here, we can build another set of these large storages, even though we probably don't need them. Possibly, as we continue working on fixing some stuff up, moving different things around, we'll find a good place to store a bunch of this other garbage. The issue we're running into is warehouses for these little tiny items. Then, of course, we have the gigantuan ones, which are super cool. But we have to have a place to actually build those. They're 7 by 7. Pretty much, I believe, if the comments are correct, I only have to have support on the 4 corners of these. Meaning I could, as at least one of you pointed out, put them, just so I can show you the whole building size, on top of 3 by 3 large storages or those piles or whatever. And then the center wouldn't have to be on top of anything. I think. We'll see what happens. We've been harvesting these berries. That's looking good. I always go right past this thing. This seems to just be a very slow process. So we're going to prioritize that guy. Should be good to go. These got built, so now we actually have some empty spaces, but also homeless beavers at the same time, which I don't really know how that works, but hey. We do have medical beds. I guess I need to prioritize by haulers so we can make use of those. Try to get our workforce back from all of their problems they've got. I know I need probably a whole lot more than what we're currently working with, but you know, it is what it is. And supposedly the clinic, they'll just come get the items that cure them, and it doesn't matter that there's no capacity for it, so I guess that's fine. We have all these other things like the alchemist trying to make a basic balm that's not really able to keep up. Handicrafter's Lodge making all sorts of stuff. There's just a lot to keep up with, folks. Just gotta keep on doing whatever it is that you can do. So now we got a bunch of extra space that can come in here and start planting stuff. These domesticated brambles also can be planted over here, but we're not currently in a super need for those. We've got grapes that probably could use some additional grapes. Well, that's a great sentence right there. But I'm not really willing to go too crazy for those quite yet. So these are giving us minty bamboo shoots, which are something that we're going to need if we're going to make frost balm for the burns. But that requires a whole thing that, you know, it's a process, right? So we have 390 frozen human meat. We're going to need, if we want to continue making all of this other healthcare stuff, to make frost balm, we have to have ice. And we can make it ourselves, but I don't think that's going to be a wise use of our time. So I'm going to put this guy, Polar Beaver, back on trading for the ice blocks, which means that we're going to have awful stew. Once again, I did take one of those away from making awful stew, and I think I put it back on, is that cereal bars? Yeah, we're not going to worry about that. We're making awful stew. We're making awful stew. It's going to be fine. See how quickly they've just filled this up? We just have so many beavers that are incapacitated. We got 36 incapacitated. And it seems like most of them have to do with burns. So it probably would be in our best interest to get the burn situation as resolved as we can, which is fine. If we change this over to Frost Bomb, it won't work without having ice blocks. But we can get the building started to be filled up with minty bamboo shoots and basic bomb, which it kind of already has. Then as soon as we have more ice blocks, then it can take care of that. But since we are right here, I think we're going to want to put another alchemist in this general area that is going to make ice. We'll take a look at the recipe for this so I can show you here. It needs frost essence, which is something that has to be made elsewhere. But I think we can make it work. It's just we can't just throw stuff around and hope that it actually does something. So I'm going to use the space right here where this Handicrafter's Lodge was to put in another alchemist focused on stuff that is going to benefit the clinic. I think is going to be the best course of action here because these are right next to each other. And they can come up through here to get ice, should they so choose, once ice is actually stored there. So that is going to be the thing that we have to focus on messing with. Which also means, now that I have this alchemist under construction, we're going to need more laboratory glassware. Which is something that has to be made in the factory. Factory which is currently trying to make metal blocks. But we have 333 of those saved up, so let's take that and make ourselves a couple of laboratory glasswares just so we have that ready to go. And we're going to need to probably build several more alchemists in areas that they're going to be able to be used. So we are massively underproducing so much stuff. Like, these guys can make all sorts of great stuff that we are going to need at some point. I mean, they can make coffee, make mediocre coffee. I think it might actually be called that. No, just regular coffee, never mind. But we haven't planted coffee beans, so that's out of the question. This one making basic bomb is fine. This one making ice will be nice once we have... Oh, I'm sorry, endothermic essence. The nitroglycerin is a thing that's really holding us back, which I'm going to need to produce elsewhere. But I have to have the ability to do it first, you know? It's a process. So I think the issue up here is they can't actually access any of this. There we go. So that's going to work out just fine. The main issue we're going to run into is all these trees up here. That's what's killing us. These trees. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll put that one there, because then I can put it here. And then once those are gone, I can put another one here. But we just have to be able to remove the trees. So we'll just click mark all of these so that whenever they show up able to be taken down, then we'll be in good shape. Just got to make sure we're doing whatever we can. And that we have someone who can actually, you know, get at these things. Remember, it's not a situation anymore where we just have an unbelievable quantity of extra beavers, because now we're, you know, using them for stuff. And it's really not a good thing to be using beavers as a catch-all solution for your other problems. You can't just throw more beavers at it. 577 or 86. Okay. Well, the good news is that we have a drought coming up, so we're going to have a great opportunity to get this fully enclosed, assuming we actually have the dirt to do it. But if we can, then this can spend the next couple of cycles drying out. Unfortunately, pumping out of here is a huge pain because the bad water pump has to be submerged. And they have to have a way to get into there. So, I mean, we could, but the amount of water, bad water that's going to come out of this probably isn't going to be that worth it. Even so, I think it would be a mistake not to try using one of these. The problem is just, you know, the beavers are going to get bad water infected, but we have a solution for that. It's called the giant spinny carousel of whatever. Whatever it is. So that will help us out for at least a little bit. It doesn't matter that this does or does not get built right now, because once the drought starts, the lowest the bad water will ever be after it flows out is the top of this terrain block. So this, actually, this small bad water pump being here does have the advantage of taking up some space. So, you know what we can do, and I didn't even think about this, is I can just put another one of these here, and they're going to be taking up other space that will displace, because that's how that works. And then we'll have that much less bad water to deal with after I get rid of those. But we'll let them do what they got to do there. Let's leave them alone. This is looking good here. Okay, those trees got cut down, but this still has some logs left. And now it doesn't. Alright, come up with the stairs. That's working out well. This has a dynamite there. Now I only have 2 of these left, and I did say we needed to have more dynamite. And we can't forget either that the handicrafter lodge that was making the pencil sets is the one that I destroyed and will need to be replaced. And I always want to think that's the handicrafter's lodge, but it's not. Handicrafter's lodge is this thing, which we need to make pencil sets, and dynamite. Dynamite also uses sawdust, which for some reason has very quietly become something that we need a lot of without even thinking about it. So that's an interesting problem to solve. Okay, the awful stew production is quite simply awful, as could logically be expected. That's because sawdust. Everything needs sawdust. This is not prioritized, so that'll help that. Am I really... Okay, we still need more screw press axles. Am I really going to have to just have a building only making sawdust? It really doesn't seem like that should even be possible. Now, but this can't make logs because we don't have giant logs to begin with. And that has no sawdust. That makes 240. We do planks, it makes 380. Well, we don't need planks. So, staying on logs it is. Just the little things. Got to keep your wits about you. Now, those are both in place. This ladder is just about done. Then our beavers can get over here and, you know, super poison themselves. But that's, you know, that's showbiz, baby. Put that thing in there. We still have them bailing out bad water from buckets. That's really, really not a smart way to be conducting business. So let's get rid of these bad water bucketing posts. Because, you know, we're about to send them down here into the bad water mines once all this is taken care of. Still need dirt. You know what? I bet we're missing dirt because these don't have drill bits. No, actually. We have drill bits. Okay, that's a little bit of a surprise. And they're using all the pieces, I guess. That's fine. This is once again waiting on giant logs. This is why it's so important to blast this down. And I know it's a very slow process. Probably not going to be done this episode, but you know, you just have to do it. Just have to allow the time to be taken. But these are up and running, looks like. As the beavers become super irradiated, or whatever you want to call Thankfully, we have 13,000 water. This has filled up to the point where it is possible for the lotuses to grow. But this is not yet full enough for the Lidos to be usable. We have our safety overflow thing here. And yes, I have heard your cries. We will be connecting the ENS to the other side over here. I just have to be able to remember that that's a thing that needs to happen. So just bring this here like so. Put up a stairs. A stairs, yes, fantastic. Not a set of stairs. A stairs. Anyway, now this is connected. So they can go from here to here, and then that shouldn't be too much of a problem. We still have all this space back here. We can take these trees out, and if we can figure out a way to prevent the bad water from being a problem, like putting in those irrigation towers, we'll be in good shape. But for right now, that is not a huge priority. 6-day drought is already going to be spelling trouble, so I'm going to turn on my secret weapon, and that is these little fluid dumps right here. We're just going to be dumping little Dixie cups of Kool-Aid in here. It's going to make me really sad if nobody understands what I'm talking about, but that's just the way it goes, I guess. Now we have a bigger problem, which is there is no power generation because the wheels are not turning. We do have these gravity batteries, but we unfortunately do not have... Is this a silly Billy or no? Okay, there's just no trees. Okay. We unfortunately do not have everything connected here, so let's make this be a thing. Definitely did not do myself any favors the way I have this set up. Not at all in the slightest. If I really felt like it, I could sit here for a long while and blast this out and then put 2 more things here, but I guess we'll just have to see what we can see. I know we have flywheels as an option, but the flywheels, the large ones that we were really going to be excited about, need a whole bunch of treated planks, and that's not a resource that we currently have or care to use. Now, the small flywheels do actually have... Well, small and medium, I think, are going to be things that we could relatively easily construct. I'm just kind of reluctant to use that much metal. The framed ones are going to be better. They use a little bit less, or they lose a little bit less power. They also hold a little bit less power. But the parasitic draw, well, it's not really parasitic draw, it's just the loss is what we're worried about. I would love to be able to build these large ones, but they require the treated planks. So medium horizontal framed flywheels and medium vertical framed flywheels are going to be probably about the only thing we can realistically get to, unless we want to have just a crazy amount of dedication to get those treated planks in place. And I think we have much better things we could be doing with our time. Oh, but man, I am very interested in getting some sort of more stable power supply. All that being said, 15,000 HPH sounds like a lot, but these guys have 130. So they're really, for the amount of resources, at least in the mod with the water beavers, these really are not very good unless you can build the large ones. I just like it. I like Battery Smooth. Does fantastic work. I like the mod. But we have to be focused on the best overall outcome for our beavers here, and unfortunately that's not, unless we have extra resources and time to kill, it's not going to be the flywheels. Is this out of range? It is. Okay, that's why they haven't built it yet then. I can't really be upset about that. Is this in range? No, yes it is. So that'll give us another 140,000 HPH, and this guy is rapidly going down. Those are already down all the way. We do have methane, so I'm going to turn this engine on, just so we have some sort of power we can actually use. Everything else, I mean, we really have no reason to complain about food. Food just keeps going up. I think we have mostly solved those problems. I just can't keep stacking these and expect anything to happen. Okay, so now this can get removed. The dynamite is a problem. The dynamite is definitely a problem. We just need to take this out one bit at a time, and I don't think I'm in a position now. Oh, hold on, 99%. We can take this guy out and replant him. Easily, but this probably isn't the place to be removing them from anyway, because this is actually looking pretty good. So maybe we just don't. Maybe we leave it alone. And we just decide, you know what, we're going to choose to do something else with all of this space. Primitive smelters very clearly have kind of outlived their usefulness for us here, which is fine. That happens. But we've got to be prepared to do other stuff. And I feel like... Yeah, there it is. That big giant thing. I kind of want to plant additional giant sequoias. But I really don't have anywhere else to do it. And the domesticated brambles are also something we need to probably be messing with. So I guess I could just expand this bit for right now. What is this? Storage for grapes? Yeah, that does not need to be there. That is prime domesticated bramble growing space. And the grapes are going to be put in here. Well, actually, they're not. The grape juice is put in here. The grapes themselves, we can store up to 60 in the harvester's office. Probably... okay, the domesticated brambles aren't going to fit here. Well, if that's the case, then I can actually put some storages here, if that's outside the range of what we're trying to do. So that would be a decent place to put grapes, if we are truly desperate for grape storage. One of the cool things about the Waterbeaver mod is that the amount of space on the ground that one of these buildings takes up is consistent relative to the size of the building and relative to how much it can go and like have stuff put inside. I'm sure I just sounded like complete absolute nonsense incoherent in saying that, but it made sense in my head. It doesn't matter which building, for the most part, until you get to a certain point. It does not matter which building you put down, because the amount of space, as long as you don't need to stack something, the amount of space taken up on the ground is relatively the same per tile in terms of storage. The silence you hear is my brain attempting to reboot. Not always a working thing. But getting these here, these domesticated brambles here, it's going to massively increase our output, and that should hopefully be a lot easier to deal with. We have all of this scrap metal. I think there's a little bit left on the map. We can there's a lot of it left on the map over here. All of this can get taken. But what I'm trying to get at is I'm going to get rid of a bunch of the smelters and stuff over there. We just need to use this space a lot better. And these aren't even really operating either. They just have the stuff everywhere. So if I get rid of these all at once, so nobody has all their stuff just sitting wherever. If I move this path inbound this way, then I can plant another row of giant sequoias here. And I can unplant all, not the giant sequoias. I can unplant all of the domesticated brambles. But they have to be harvested, or else really bad things are going to happen. Like the giant sequoias get taken over by the brambles, which is not something we want. It's definitely not. But hopefully they can get that removed without any sort of enormous pain in the butt. Can they, no storage space, okay. Well, eventually that'll be a thing that they can probably figure out. This irrigation lodge, like I said, is going to be replaced. But given how this works, the giant super fertilizing blah 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 thing, this middle thing, the little claw that comes down, has to be on actual dirt. So for that to be a thing, first of all, the this irrigation lodge being removed is going to kill all these. Well, it's not going to kill the trees unless they can dry out faster than this can get built, which probably begs the question, can I make one of these? And it looks like we have all the materials. The days of not having planks are far behind us. As long as I have enough of these shiny blueprints. Large farmhouse. Okay, I have at least one. That works. But the question I'm going to find myself asking myself is, am I going to be able to put this down here? Well, there's only one way to find out. You get rid of that. Ooh, 20 days. Okay. Well, that's okay. It's not gonna die in 20 days. But can I? Okay, so obviously I can't put it here. Never thought I was going to be able to put it on the levee. But I can put this here, and the leg will just kind of sit here. So that is... I'm not sure that that's supposed to be how that works. And I'm... Oh, okay, well, it's going to let me build under it. Okay. That works. The idea behind this is that I can come in with a ladder here. Just build this way high, like it needs to be. And then I can utilize our resources here. I should not be putting a crappy platform. That should be a regular one. Can utilize our resources here to then reroute our path into this way. And then come along here and remove this path. So then I can plant another row of giant sequoias. I am hopeful that this will work. I am pretty sure that it will. Because that would allow us... Well, if I wanted to get rid of these grapes, I could plant another 4, maybe 5. That'd be really, really helpful. So this will end up being, I think, easiest as a staircase. Come on. Staircase like that, and then this staircase here get replaced with a staircase facing that way. Not that one. But yeah, the grapes here, I'm just gonna completely get rid of those. Get this guy out of here. And as we continue to blow this area up, then we can figure out other solutions for grapes. But since it's almost the end of the drought, how are we looking? Okay, so they've not been able to pump any more. I need more dirt. I need 300 here. Ooh, I only need... Not 300. Math. 22. I only need 22 dirt. Okay. I'm not building any other stuff. So none of these have dirt. Of course they don't. That would be ridiculous. But we don't have power because they're... see, this is going to cause problems. This is going to cause problems. So I thought I was smarter than this. Now, I could take an enormous blow to my personal pride and remove this terrain block in favor of putting in a regular levee, which I could almost certainly build in time to avoid this flooding again. This, the 22 dirt, I'm not going to be worried about finding before this completely fills up again, but I'm reasonably sure I'm not going to be able to get away with too much else. No, I did... you know what? No, I didn't. I didn't actually have that set up a different way. Okay, well now I kind of don't want to do it. But it is going to very quickly fill this back up again with all sorts of sludge that we don't want to have to worry about getting rid of. And this isn't going to be generating enough power at all to give us a dirt. This is a 4%. Yeah. That's just really not going to work. Not going to work. Oh, it's going to fill up anyway. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter which way this goes. What a waste. What a waste. Yep. Oh well, we tried. Yep, this is immediately full again. At least these are going to start rotating sooner than the other ones will. Of course, this is going to go immediately. Okay. Now I have the ability. This still needs to be here, but it doesn't have to be everywhere. We can just move that to be elsewhere. So move that out of the way. That out of the way. Now I have these tiny little bramble nonsense dudes. Because they're going to spread like you would not believe. Yep, immediately full. Immediately full. All that work for absolutely nothing. Oh well. What can you do? What can you do? The answer is nothing. So we might as well just wait for this to be filled properly and just accept the consequences of having an enormous quantity of contaminated beavers. And by enormous, I mean 12 and not 200 like we did at the very beginning of the series. So, what I have seen, though, is these numbers have decreased and been replaced with contaminated beavers. But major burn, mild disease, minor burn, severe injury, and just regular unwell, which turns into contaminated, these have done pretty well. We still have 42 incapacitated beavers, but again, what are you going to do? Ice blocks are in very short supply. We still have not received any because we have not made enough awful stew. And we have not made enough awful stew because we don't have enough sawdust. We didn't have enough sawdust because we weren't running the giant things here, and we weren't running those because we didn't have enough logs to make into sawdust. It's a whole cycle. It is the way it goes. But that's fine. We're working on it. We're doing what we can, when we can, with what we have. That's all we can really be expected to do anyway. But I need these guys to come in here and get rid of these bramble things before they spread, because it's going to be a huge problem. It's going to be a very, very big problem. It looks like they are taking that pretty seriously here. Hopefully they don't spread. But we will replace these with giant sequoias. We'll be reasonably successful as long as none of these spread. Yep, there we go. Another one here. Another one here. Another one here. And another one here. Now, I can also plant one here, and I think I will. And we have the ability, thanks to our setup here with this little trench, just do one of these guys right here. Clear this out so we don't have any stupid. And then we can still connect over here. We just have to go around where these trees are planted. We can get this last thing back here. Okay, so we have successfully, assuming this can be planted, yes. We have successfully put in an additional, like, 5 or 6 of these trees. Which is really, really, really going to help long term. I don't know why this one hasn't been planted yet, because this is, in fact, in range. Hopefully that gets done soon. Shouldn't be any reason not to. But anyway. This is already a much better setup. Just got to keep it on going here. And yes, I do have to build a staircase just to get this one single tree out. I'm going to have to wait for this tree to be removed to do it too. And then that one is going to have to go up to get that, which is already marked, I think I've got. Yeah. Not that we have dynamite to do this with, but it's fine. Okay. Under 200 dirt for this. We'll get there. We will get there. We'll continue contaminating a whole bunch of beavers. But it won't be like that forever. We'll, at some point... Okay, good, that did get placed. At some point we'll get that all figured out. So domesticated brambles over here means that these over here can be removed. And then... oh, this scrap metal piles, those can all go away. And we have space down here. We can also put additional grapes, which was going to be a good thing for us to be getting into. Get those out of the way. That's fine. These suspension bridges can go away. And then, I don't know exactly how we want to have this set up, but I probably just bring this right over here. This lumberjack flag we're not gonna need. Well, I guess we will. Oh, he lives in the wine cellar and he works at the lumberjack flag. There you go. There you go. What a life. Well, now he lives in the tree nursery. I guess he just keeps hopping around. And as soon as he comes out, I want to see... Okay, he's cutting down the domesticated brambles. That's fine. What is this one doing? Making... brain boosting salts, yes. Okay, well that's fine because that's got stuff up here to do with that. Screw press axles hovering at 29, 30-ish for the past forever, really. So I guess that's okay. This, for chestnut beer, just aggressively disinterested in that. Because now we're making wine. That's for water to do all that. This irrigation lodge probably doesn't need to be here, except for repelling the poison water here. So I guess we'll just leave that alone. What I'm attempting to do is create more space for grapes, if at all possible. And since this is up here, I can actually make better use of this space by doing this. And then as soon as that staircase is put in place, I can reclaim all of this easily. And I know it's not connected by paths. We'll get that fixed. And this lumberjack flag can be relocated to be right here. And now I've got more space for grapes, which we did desperately need. And that's a much better use of this space to do that. Especially because these domesticated brambles are all domesticated. Alright, now I have space. Put this in to get our single thing out of here. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, let's put a staircase here because I've got to get that tree out of the way. We got to blast this whole thing down. Never ending. Never ending. So, did we finally... We did. Good. I can put something else up here, but we really are not making enough power for this to be viable. Okay, I got to turn this off. We're going to use all of our methane. So now the power production, yeah, it's right about even, which is fine, but we really are going to want to have more, which means we need to have this area blocked off a little bit. I don't have enough dirt to be messing with that too much, but I'm going to go ahead and put in a platform here. Yeah, and I'm just, even though it's probably, well, first of all, let's see if I have enough blueprints. Okay, I do. Not going to generate a ton of power right now, but it is pretty important that we have this. Just ready to go. Again, the reason that these are spaced like this is to put another one of these advanced sawmills on the other side. But I can't do that until I put more dirt there, and I really don't want to mess with that. Oh, they're going into infection land to make this happen. That's probably not an ideal scenario. Shouldn't be encouraging that, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm going to have to put buildings up here as dams. Now, we have our triple watertight lodges that are probably going to be the best bet for this to work right here. If I put one here and one here, then I can actually make some pretty good use of our space. Create a little bit of a dam and house additional beavers, which we do actually need. Force water through here, and then that's going to allow me to use my platforms, hopefully, as a little building block here. We don't need the power to connect on this side, we just need it to... Oh, that's the wrong one. Just need it to be viable. Just like so. And that's going to help. The double-decker platform here, of course, is going to allow us to put other items here. Probably going to have some weird power flow issues because of the thing not being completely cut off. But the main goal is to just force all of this through here. Which it... Oh, yeah, that thing picked up some serious speed. So that's at 500. And the rest of these are at 3 something. Well, it's going to be okay. We're still making more than we need. It's a process. We'll get it all taken care of. So this is now coming straight through here. It's going to wrap around kind of weird. But once the wheel is in place, I think it's going to be fine. That says it's not connected because I did not put a path. Okay. Which, of course, because I did not put that there, that gets to become a regular platform that goes there. Anyway, the goal is to have a higher power supply than a power demand. So, if we've accomplished that, then we have had some sort of success. All right. Dynamite continues to be a very slow process, but we'll let it be what it needs to be. Get this blasted out. The grapes have been planted. That should help. Incapacitated beavers were down to 31. That's probably mostly because of the contamination going away. This terrain block is actually just about finished. It's unfortunate that this is still going to be at maximum height level, but what are you going to do? It's fine. They'll get most of this sucked out, and then we'll just let the rest evaporate. Not much you can do about it. Food continues to be fine. Water continues to be fine. Before we get too comfy here, I am going to... Oh, we already had this set for large water wheels. Okay. There we go. We'll just have those two good to go. This is fine. The overflow is overflowing, which is allowable. We finally have... Well, we don't have any of these guys harvested because I'm pretty sure these are... yeah, they're all going to come up at pretty much the same time. But we have some quantity of nenifars that are actually usable. So that's good to see. What's our surplus? Okay, there we go. 1,300 extra. That's what I'm talking about. That is going to be helpful. That's going to be very good. I did say that I was going to probably do the hydroponic green pea farm to try and bolster those numbers. So let's pop those guys in very easily here because all of this is already in place. So that's good to see. Something's telling me we have still not accrued enough awful stew to get any ice blocks. Which, well, it's fine. It is what it is. Meanwhile, we have all this other stuff. Our distillery, of course, is where we make the endothermic essence. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. This guy right here that's currently making chestnut beer into strong alcohol, we're just going to say, you know what? Forget it. You're making endothermic essence. Because it's already right here. Minty bamboo shoots are... I don't remember where I have them stored, but they're somewhere. I guess it doesn't matter. It just has to get done. Endothermic essence will allow us to construct the ice blocks. In fact, that's pretty much all we're waiting on is endothermic essence. I can't believe I hadn't had that set up already. Incapacitated beavers down to 23, so that's proving to be a very good... I don't know why we have homeless beavers. If we have 3 homeless, 6 free beds, they should automatically go to that. Unless it counts the contaminated beavers as homeless because I don't have a jail. That's probably what it is. That's got to be what it is. Oh, sweet. This is actually completely sealed off. So now these guys are going to pump away. And then finally, after 800 billion quintillion thousand years, we can research and start constructing the elevator to the abyss. Now, it's going to take a while because we have to have 12 of the giant logs and we have to have 16 halves of giant logs. So that is 20 giant logs worth of giant log and giant log associated materials. Plus everything else we already have. We've got plenty of the firefly juice. We've got enough metal, surprisingly. Everything else is perfectly good to go. Elevator to the abyss without its extra things. Also, we have to put power here, but that's not going to be a problem. We just have to supply the cereal bars directly to this for underground exploration. Then we get our underground exploration points, or whatever that's called. Ruins exploration. Okay. Or human relics. And then, of course, all this other stuff we can pop in here. You know, you want to go to the Abyss Tourism Center, bring your firefly juice, and head downstairs and find all sorts of whatever is down there. Deep pile store. Holy 500,000! Oh, okay. Yeah, we're going to build that. That's a lot of storage. Oh my god, I can't believe that. Seriously? I should have looked at this earlier. Oh my god, is that 1 million? 1 million deep crate storage. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. Okay, well, that's 1,000 HP. We're going to have to figure that out pretty quick, but that's quick. That's really quick. Especially this drill bit recipe. Sheesh. Of course, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. Everything's got to be connected power shaft-wise. I'm sure that's going to be an enormous pain in the butt. As one would expect. Nuclear Waste Mining Expedition Center. Wowee. Oh, this is why people have this is why people have trust issues. Oh yeah, we're going on the nuclear mining expedition. Oh, have fun, Timmy. It's like, do you understand? Do you understand what's going to be happening here? Oh god, it's like our own Superfund site, but for profit. Oh, that's terrifying. This is making regular logs. I'm going to start making giant half logs, because we're going to need to have those. Steel saw blades, we still have plenty of. I'm pretty sure we're actually still directly making those. The giant half logs don't necessarily have to have their own storage, because they're going to be going directly into that thing. I guess we'll see what happens. You don't really need to use those for too much of anything outside of... Oh, where are these things? Oh, yeah, the giant log bridges. You have to have the half logs for those. You can get some pretty interesting looking designs I've seen. A couple people have shared stuff they've done in Waterbeavers. There's not really that many people have gotten to the late game in this. I know a couple directly who watch and comment on these videos, but outside of that, we're kind of in uncharted territory in terms of mass dissemination of water beavers content. To my knowledge, I actually only know of maybe 1 or 2 people that have been doing playthroughs of this on YouTube and who have actually continued doing it. So I don't know. I haven't been watching a whole lot of that stuff. I do not have the time to consume long-form content anymore, unfortunately, which is a shame because I think a lot of people are doing really great stuff. But we'll see what happens when we get where we're going. Why has this not been removed yet? Oh, this is, no, you should still have range for this. Oh, I didn't mark it. I marked the wrong thing. All right. Well, that would explain why that hadn't happened yet. Yeah, there you go. Then we can just blast this guy down. Go and get all that mess. Should be... Yeah, and they'd been blocked because that was in the way. Yep. Yep. Okay. Well, we are in the exciting part. It's all exciting part, but as soon as this actually gets... Why is... I know the water's not coming through this because that's not how it works, but it always makes me double take. This is going to be a while before they can get that taken care of. We will have to take a look again at our abyss exploration to determine, yeah, the middle 3 of all of these, and then, yeah, the middle 3 of all of them have to be blown out so we can have the other buildings attached to the outside access-wise, and then the power has to come in through the back here. Alright, so we want to make sure that's an option. 3 here, 3 here. These 2 buildings are getting the bad water out, so we're going to leave those. This ladder is going to get relocated. Probably just right here, which I could... no, I can't build until this is out of the way. Power-wise, this is actually perfectly in line with what we're going to be doing here. So this is going to end up... that's going to end up being an interesting problem to solve because of the height issue here. Platforms, fortunately, we have tons of, so that'll be okay. I suppose this will just end up coming across like so. Of course, that wasn't going to work, but you know me, I gotta try it anyway. That's gonna have to be... Well, I guess if we don't have to get around here in terms of accessing stuff, then this is going to be okay. To come in just like this. It's not going to let me play nice, is it? There we go. Nope. Too bad. That would have been really funny. This is already built, so I guess it doesn't matter. Tall platform is going to be tall platform. Might as well just, you know, do it like this. Just make it work. Rebuild our power shaft so we're not caught by surprise. Then this, of course, will have to be a high power shaft, but I will save that for later once we have... Oh! Well, this is actually already good to go. Like I said, this is going to be... It's going to be a while before this is completely done. Ready to go. We can, however, before this is put in, or before removed, rather, unlock the elevator to the abyss, place the elevator to the abyss, and they can start putting resources into it. Even though we can't really get to it, we want to be able to accrue the stuff. That will end up being nice as we start cutting up our giant logs into giant half logs. Because then maybe next episode we can start messing with this. Assuming we can make enough giant logs by then. How much is this making? 490, 800, 1012, 275. That's weird. 1033, 755, 754, 774. Yeah, alright, this works. We can't really be too upset about it. These are nowhere near being done, but we literally planted the seeds. Have those looking a lot better so we can access these trees. That can go away. We will slowly get this whole thing set, figured out, improved, whatever have you. These are getting hydroponic green peas grown, so that's good. I got unemployed beavers. How? How? Are we full in the hauling tower? We are. Why did that happen? 599 beavers. That would do it. That would do it. 16 incapacitated beavers. So our efforts in this realm were actually pretty successful. That's good to see. So we have 2 each for minor burns and injuries, and then 3 for mild diseases. Severe injury, I think, has to be taken care of at the clinic. We just have to have all this stuff. Ice blocks we don't have. Endothermic essence, we are missing some bamboo shoots, it seems. We don't really have enough to do too much. I maybe should have built this tree nursery a little bit further away. Oh no, they have access to get in here. I can plant more, I just didn't do it. Alright, well, I'll tell you what we'll do is we will, we'll pop that guy right there. Just get one more. I know we're not going to have enough room to really do much of anything else, but planting that one is going to be a big help. It's another 25% output. Granted, it was not very much to begin with. It's 3 days. So 1 minty bamboo shoot per day, per plant, at maturity, which is 5 per day once these are all grown. So that's not exactly breakneck pace for the production of well, endothermic essence in this building, considering it'll take 10 of those. So 2 days worth of production of the minty bamboo shoots turned into 3 endothermic essence in the span of 2 hours. And then this guy, to make 1 ice block, requires 2/3 of the production of this thing. So very clearly we have a tremendous need for additional bamboo, which is fine if... Oh, bad tide approaching. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So I think we're going to have to remove some of our grapes here. We did plant additional ones, so that's not going to be the end of the world. But we really, really, really need to be having a lot more bamboo than we currently do. So what we'll do is start bringing these things out. Let's grab all of these. I'm pretty sure they should still be able to reach down here once... Oh, that's the wine cellar. Hold on. There we go. See, they have space to get over here. And once we remove the land, they should be able to get down there as well. We can not quite double what we've been already producing, but we can add 3 more without relocating this bridge, which will probably be the next step, assuming we can actually get in there. Everything's a process, though. You just gotta trust it. And of course, there's the space down here that we wanted to get rid of as well, but you know how that goes. So now we are only waiting on giant logs and giant half logs. So that's good. Unfortunately, that's the bit that's going to take the most time. This is currently set to cut into half. And I could not tell you when the next time we're going to get giant sequoias to cut down is. 78 is the closest. 80, okay. 85. 14, 12, 22. Yeah, it's going to be a while. Not going to be this episode before we get a single other one. Probably the middle of next episode. So, it's a good thing we planted these additional trees when we did. We probably still need a whole lot more. But again, you do what you can. That's all you can do. We also need to make sure that we have this area adequately filled. Which we're not pumping. Well, we are pumping out of up here. That probably needs to stop. So we'll get rid of those. That I don't think was ever going to be a problem. But let's get... Now, hold on. Why is it... Ah, see, it doesn't care. Doesn't care. That one will go in. And then that one will go in. See, we're making it work. We're doing what we can. Although I think this is about the limit of what we can realistically get to. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to plant anymore after these last two pieces of dynamite get put in. Don't think we're going to be able to do that. Pine resin, after making such a big deal about it at the beginning of the episode, has proven to not be a problem whatsoever. So I guess that's fine. Food holding steady around 5,000. Water is holding steady at 14. So all of this, you know, overall has been very, very good, very productive. Again, I keep checking this, expecting it to be different, but no, of course not. We have to wait for the giant log. It's pretty much this entire grove right here would have to be cut down for us to be able to build this. This being the Abyss Exploration. Okay, most of it. Most of it. Because that's... So I'm going to click on it again. Yeah, it's 20 trees. No, it's 22. No, okay, I got it backwards. It is 20 trees. And this is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. We don't have 20 trees. We have 16. We have 16 trees. So that's literally probably 3 cycles worth of stuff. Which means I really should not have planted grapes here. I should have planted 2 more trees. Well, 2 more wouldn't have done it either. Well, it's one of those things that you're just going to have to kind of be fine waiting for. No, I do want to know why. Oh, because we don't have the dynamite. And the dynamite is a Handicrafter's Lodge thing. You know what? I actually don't. Oh, I always forget which one. There we go. There we are. Nitroglycerin. Where am I even having them make nitroglycerin? I need to find out. This one, which is all the way over here. So, probably should have something pretty much right next to it, no? But this is making... Oh, it's full up on gears anyway, we don't care. So this space right here would very heavily benefit from me clicking on the correct buttons. Very heavily benefit from having Handicrafter's Lodge right next door. And of course this is going to be way back here where they can't get to anything. That's fine, I suppose. Come and get your garbage. But this needs to be set to dynamite. And I know I have to have one for the pencil sets as well. We're just trying to fix other problems while we have the opportunity to. Alright, so that's going to go there. That's going to go there. What is this? Screw press axles. I can't really get rid of that yet. But I will go ahead and move it pile-wise here. I'm going to hit pause. I see that 0.1 day thing. I see it. Don't worry. Don't worry. And I forgot what I was going to put down here. What was it I was going to put over here? So this is making... well, nitroglycerin can't even be stored in one of these, can it? I don't remember what I was going to put in here. Well, anyway. It's full of saltpeter, full of sunflower oil, full of nitroglycerin. How do I have 68 nitroglycerin? Oh, okay. No, it actually was a problem because we didn't have enough of these making explosives. So there's no storage space for any of these items, really? Well, that'll be a problem to solve later, I suppose. Before we get too comfy cozy, let's go ahead and flip these so I don't forget about it. Cause a cataclysm here. And get those going just like so. Now we shouldn't have any problems with the bad tide starting. And this is completely sealed off. And we're generating power, and it's a bad tide, so we're going to keep generating power, and we're generating way more power than we're using. And our gravity batteries should be recharging. They're just going to be really slow. Yeah, we're working. We're making it work, folks. Slowly automating more and more stuff. I had to turn this on one-time speed so I could actually, you know, look at something. But I think we are in a pretty good spot. Obviously, there's still a lot more to get done. And lots of stuff still to take a look at. But we are, yeah, we're out of sawdust now, which is a consequence of not having the giant logs to put in this thing, which is our chief sawdust maker. But everything else is looking pretty good. Just making slow, steady progress. Get them to plant that there. Rice, funnily enough, is still super low. This has not died because our overflow thing is working exactly as intended. It's only a 5-day thing. This is topping everything off. I think we're going to be okay. I'm okay dumping water into this that then goes down here because eventually it's going to just get pumped back up or pumped out for drinking. So it's a little bit of wasted beaver labor, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be perfectly fine. All of this being said, we are going to have to end this episode here because this is a really good natural stopping point. And I feel like we got a lot of good stuff done today, even if it doesn't feel like we did. I promise you we did. We got so much stuff, improved, foundations laid, etc., so on and so forth. Most of the rest of this is just going to take time. So we will probably, next episode, start with just a healthy time-lapse of a whole bunch of stuff getting finished or growing trees or whatever have you. And we'll just have to wait. But, I mean, look at all this extra space we got over here. I know it's a process, and we're going to get there. But we've already cleared so much space over here for these domesticated brambles. We've cleared out additional space for the grapes. We've got twice as much now from where we started, at least, in terms of the giant bamboo. And that's going to give us the minty bamboo shoots, which is going to give us the endothermic essence, which is going to give us the ice, which is going to give us the burn treatment. And we only have 21 incapacitated beavers. We had 40-something this episode. We've got berries being made, but they're being consumed as fast as we can make them. Well, strictly speaking, we're not making them right now because we don't have any sawdust, but you know how it goes. So that's all for today, folks. I really appreciate you continuing to offer advice, feedback, comments, whatever have you on this. I read all of them, even the super long comments that have a whole bunch of stuff that I am never going to be able to get to everything, but I really appreciate you paying attention to what's going on and trying to keep me oriented in the correct direction here, because it's a lot to keep up with. But it's worth it. Super fun mod. We are going to finish it. We're going to do everything. Hopefully nothing breaks. There's no reason for it to, but we're gonna do our best to power through this here in the next little while and see what we can get accomplished. Beard boosters, you already know. Could not do this without you. Genuinely. The support that you provide makes it possible to do crazy, insane, stupid things like 45-episode series on a mod of an old version of the game and not chase the algorithm, which I really, really don't want to do. That is not my idea of having a good time. My idea of having a good time on here is finding something cool like the Waterbeavers and just playing it until there's nothing left, because this is just such a bonkers, insane thing to do, is make this huge additional mod for the game for free. I cannot imagine the amount of effort, blood, sweat, tears, learning new swear words, or whatever it takes to come up with something like this. This is absolutely incredible. And the fact that we get to do it together is even more fun. So we'll just have to see what happens as we move on through the rest of this. I know there's a bunch of cool stuff we haven't gotten to yet. Now there's more coming, and then whenever Update 6 Waterbeavers comes out, guess what? We're going to do that too, because we're gluttons for punishment with this thing. Oh boy, I love this mod so much, but that's all the time we got for this one. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we will see you in the next video. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.